Well, I don't know if it's getting under the calf skin. I think it's just about competing, Eric. I think that's the number one thing is our compete level is higher. We expect their compete level to be higher tomorrow night, and I thought that was a difference in the game. Similar game plan. We adjusted a few things, not a lot, but the number one thing we adjusted was our compete level. And whether it makes friends or wins friends or influences people, it doesn't matter. The compete level has to be there no matter who you play in the playoffs. Whether it was Miami, Indiana, or whatever, you're not out there to make friends. You can be friends in the summertime.
DeMar was saying that he hated Biz when they used to play against each other, and Biz said that he sort of knew that. You've been around some great shot blockers, rim protectors. There probably aren't too many of them if they're doing their job right. They're well liked by the opponent. Is that sort of validation as a player like that to know that you're getting under a guy's skin a little bit?
Well, one of the biggest competitors I've ever coached was Gary Payton and Kevin Garnett. And those two guys did not like anybody in the opposing jerseys, and that's the way it should be. You don't have to be dirty. You don't have to be belligerent. Just your compete level has to be there where they know you're not out there to have fun and laugh and smile, and that's part of the game. That's part of it. You're not disrespecting anybody. You're not being a bad person, but you're out there to compete. You're out there to do your job, and for that 48 minutes, there's one thing in mind, one thing only, and that's the way it should be.
You mentioned compete level. When in the lead up to the game or once the ball goes up in the air, do you know if your team has the proper level?
Jared, that's an age-old question. Do you look at your players and look in their eyes and see if they're ready to play? I don't think there's a coach in this league or in any league that can look at their players and see if they're ready to play. The only time you know they're ready to play is once that ball goes up. You can make all the Newt Rockney speeches you want to and all that stuff, but again, at this time of year, it's about one thing. It's about competing. And if you got to talk about is your team ready or is they ready to compete, if you got to talk about that at this time of year, we're in the wrong business. Or they're in the wrong business, whoever it is. Because if you're not ready to play hard and compete during the playoffs and in the conference finals, and again, the word as far as being ready to compete, I don't know, our force level, our playing with force level was higher. I don't think our guys were not trying in the first two games, but the readiness, the force, the level of force that they played with on both ends of the floor was higher.
Coach, Bismack has got a lot of attention, justifiably, for his play recently. Where do you see him along the maturation process, and do you see he has a lot more to give?
No question. Bismack, his free throw percentage has increased every year. He's still a young man. In this league, he's a young man, so his ceiling is not there yet. His jump shot, I know his jump hooks in the paint, all those things are things that are evolving. 2 years ago, he wouldn't have even thought about a jump hook in the paint. Or his free throw percentage was so down, they'd probably be doing the hack of Bismack with him. But now his free throw level is up. His confidence level at the free throw line is up. So, that's something that I think, in the last series, somebody tried it and he knocked down 2 free throws. So, those are the areas he can improve of. But his role, his alley is his energy level, his defensive presence, and his rebounding shot blocking.
He actually had 7 screen assists, they call them, last night. What's the biggest difference between an effective screener and an ineffective?
One that sets a legal screen, one that can time it up with his teammate coming off of it, whether it's a pin down or pick and roll, John. His timing is really good. He's not there moving at the last second. He sets good, hard physical screens at the right time. So I think that sets the screeners apart. A guy that just has a rhythm of when to set screens, the angle where he sets screens. He understands whether a guy is going under or not and sets it on the low side, and he does a good job of reading all those situations.
How important were those last night when you looked at the film? Both his ability to set screens and your guard's ability to time it right, as he said.
I think it's really important. I think, especially when it's a physical type game where the opposing team is into the guard or into the pin down of the guy receiving the screen, I think it's really important of the timing where you don't set illegal screens or the defense doesn't hurry you up, and it gives him an opportunity to get his body on the defender, and he does a good job of that, and his basketball IQ is very high in those situations.
And then that obviously helps you sort of pick the right defender to go at, right? When you can when you can force the initial guy into the screen. Right? Like,
It's it's a dance. You got to have a dance partner with you, is what I call it. Your guys that's receiving the screen has got to be able to dance with the guy guarding him, and they're doing a lot of top blocking, so you've got to still be able to dance with him and to take him to the screen or create separation, one of the two. If you're a point guard and try to come off in the pick and roll, your ability to get a separation from the defender is just as important as that screen. And so, now with the defense heightened and them understanding exactly what you're doing, it's even more important.
Dwane, did Valanciunas do anything today, and what's his status for?
We'll see. He was on the court today, and we'll see where he is tomorrow.
Being on the court, did that change from anything he was able to do?
No, not at all.
When you guys signed Biz in the summer, it was kind of late signing, $2 million contract. Did you envision this kind of impact from that type
I envisioned him bringing the defensive energy because, like DeMar, I mean, he was a nightmare at Charlotte for us. On the boards, blocking shots, being a nuisance. Guy hitting you, and you just have some guys that accidentally bump into you and just hurt you, and that's Bismack. And not trying to be dirty, not trying to be, but it's just how he plays. And so I knew how a factor, and it always seemed like he played well against us. So no, it's what I envisioned. I didn't envision a 26 rebound night and like he's had, and the 25 like he had against Indiana. But I envisioned him having an impactful role on our team, especially with the second unit behind Jonas.
But you shook your head a little bit last night when you were asked about Biz and the finger wagging. When it comes to that kind of stuff and him being a nuisance, from your perspective as a coach, do you sort of think about how the other team responds and whether there's a motivating factor in their response to his?
No, I don't think so. Just because if that motivates, again, it goes back to the motivational factor. If that motivates you, you're already behind the 8 ball. It takes that to get you to play hard. No, I think that's just who he is. I remember when Mutombo did it, when Deke did it. I don't think it motivated other players to play harder. And when Bismack does it, as long as he backs it up, continues to rebound, continues to block shot and protect the rim, as long as he doesn't get a technical, I don't mind that. It's a new NBA, Doug. So it's a new day. So he can do it all he wants to, as long as he backs it up. But what you don't want to do is a guy to not be able to back it up, and he's out there doing it having a big rebounding night once a month, and that's not him.
Dwane, you were pretty passionate last night about the officiating. Do you think they'll hear your message
I'm not trying to get anybody here. It's over with. I said what I had to say last night. I'm not trying to send a message or, it was a comment about the game last night, and it's over with.
Did you hear from the league at all?
I'm not going to comment on anything on the officiating.
Coach, obviously yesterday, people were talking about suspected floating of LeBron, and LeBron did have a little bit of history of floating and being fined by the league because of floating. So while you talk,
He got fined by the league?
yeah, before not this one, before. Yeah.
Okay.
So while you talk to a guy like to avoid those very obvious gestures.
No, LeBron's doing nothing different. I mean, he's playing basketball. I don't look at him as being a flopper or anything like that. We don't even talk about that. Key is keeping him in front of you and guarding a great player. I mean, that's the only thing that you're trying to worry about with LeBron.
You gave him a little bit more space last night, and he was able to use that to throw his sort of darts around the floor. But were guys maybe staying at home a little bit better as far as when he made those passes, those shots were a little bit more contested?
I tell you what, he's one of the hardest players, John, to play. If you're up on him, he's going to go by you. If you back off of him, he's going to make a good decision. So we have to, mix up how we want to play him, whether it's up on him or on back or sending help or not sending help. There's not one way you can play a great player like he is. And we're trying just to do the best we can to make sure we mix it up, give him different looks. Because if you give him the same look every time down the floor, like I said at the beginning of the series, he's one of the smartest players that I've ever coached against. And if you give him the same look, he's going to pick you apart or he'll smell it out.
Then last night they used LeBron to guard DeMar for half a dozen possessions. Do you expect to see more of that tomorrow night?
Well, again, he's a smart player. I mean, he does more than you think he does. He'll mix up the plays of who he's guarding, how he's guarding. Again, it's hard to tell. I'm sure whoever the problem is, you're going to see him on him because he was one of their best defenders. So I anticipate him being on a little bit of everybody tomorrow night, whether it's Kyle, DeMar. He's even guarded Kyle on certain possessions. So that's why we have to be smart in how we call out our plays, because he's a step ahead of you, and he'll go and smell it out and try to get on that person. So, I see him guarding everyone tomorrow night, Doug.
Does it also take him away then from being like that free safety who sort of roams anywhere he wants to go?
Well, he's that. That goes back to his basketball IQ. Him playing on the ball, off the ball. He knows where the pass is going before it's made. And that's where we have to be smart and probably do some things to counter that, to back cut his stunts, to make sure we cut his guy out of there, to make sure when he turns around he's not there. When he goes back, he's not there anymore. That's one thing that we've got to be able to do is make sure we take his stunt away once he does do that, because he's, again, very good at doing that.
Dwane, what do you think your team showed in Game 3? What did it prove to people, maybe just the Cavs?
Again, I don't think we tried to prove anything. I think we just took our compete level to what we did for 82 games. I don't think the first 2 games it wasn't us. I know Cleveland played great basketball. They played at a high level. I don't think our level, and I'm not saying we didn't come out and play hard. I don't think our intensity, our playing with force, the level that you got to play with in the conference finals was there. And again, that's a growing experience for us. It's the first time we've been there. They had been there before. They knew the level of play that you had to play at. They knew when to put the foot down, and they took advantage of those windows to get the score up, and we didn't understand the moment. I thought last night we did a better job of not having those lapses or having long lapses. Teams are going to make runs in this league, but I thought our attention to detail and our focus, the guys that were in there, the combinations we had in there, did a better job of cutting those laps, the length of those lapses down.